Hey, what's up tech lovers? How are you all doing? I hope everything's great. Today we have a real beast here in the studio, the new Bluetti Apex 300. This is no longer just any battery, we're talking about a portable power station, or rather semi-portable given its weight, that promises to completely change how we consume and store our energy. With more than 2,700 watt-hours of capacity, up to 7,680 watts of peak power, and 3,840 watts of output, plus an incredible solar input of up to 19.2 kilowatts. And the scalable modular design makes it different from anything we know. Interested in it for your home, camper, or workshop? Stay tuned and I'll explain all about it here on TechGround. Bluetti was founded in 2009 with a clear mission to provide clean, reliable, and portable energy to all. Today, over a decade later, it's synonymous with off-grid energy innovation. Something truly human about this brand is that in 2023, they started a program called Lighting an Africa Family Lighting an Africa Family to bring light and hope to 1 million African families. Something that's fundamental is collaborating and being able to help people in need. That's all. If you enjoy this content and our reviews, please leave a like. Subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming product reviews. And be sure to turn on notifications for upcoming awesome reviews like this one. Now I'll leave you with the unboxing. So here we have two boxes, the top box, where we'll see the hub of one, which I'll talk about in a moment. Then there's this little box, and of course this huge box. What a beast inside the big box. We find the user manual so we can set it up from our app and understand all the processes of this device. We also find, of course, the cables in this box, an alternating current power cable to charge our power station, and of course a cable for our vehicle's cigarette lighter. And that's it, I'm telling you. Right away you can tell it's designed to be used. Not just to look good, but it actually looks pretty nice too. In the small box we find the Hub D, which also comes with its own power cable to plug it directly into a battery or our station. And of course it also includes its user manual. And that's it, this is everything we'll have inside these two boxes. It's ready to be used. As you've seen, the contents of the box are ready to use. Just take it out and plug it in. Now let's discuss the specifications. You may have seen this module here, which is also for expanding the connections. Besides having all the sockets and the main cables, we're going to have different inputs here, which we'll talk about in more detail now with this hub, one that can be purchased separately. And well, what we're going to start with right now is talking about the size and dimensions of this Bluetti Apex 300 to get a sense of how it's built. At first glance, this device is impressive. The Apex 300 has a robust design. It's compact, with materials that are resistant to impacts and fire. And is this real power in a station? Because we can be at ease when transporting it and having it work outdoors without any kind of problem. As for dimensions, it's 52.5 centimeters wide by 32.7 by 32 centimeters, and it weighs, get this, 38 kilos. It's not something you'd want to be moving from one place to another every day. It's really ideal to have it in your camper, your workshop, your house, or in a place where it stays put. It's portable, but with some caveats. Luckily, it has these built-in handles to grab onto and non-slip feet, so that when we put it on any surface, it doesn't move. As for the construction, you can see it's finished in gray. I mentioned that it has a very sturdy build with side vents. And on the front already, he starts to talk a bit about all the technical features it has here on the front. The first thing we can find at the top are these different buttons. The magic button that we can configure from the app, which we'll see in a moment. Echo button, where we'll have a shortcut to put it in echo mode. In power saving mode, to turn the alternating current power of the outlets on and off. And on this other side here, we have the different charging modes, which are silent mode, auto mode, and turbo mode. So we can choose the amount of power we're going to supply to this charging station, this external battery. In the center, we can find a screen where we'll have the different parameters that we can also measure independently, both on the screen and in the app. Right in the center of this screen, we'll find the battery level in percentage, and depending on the consumption we're having and the devices we have connected, it will give us more or less an average of the time we will have available. From this charge, okay, let's connect it to the power to see the charging speeds. Okay, we don't have any input in the alternating current, and we're going to put the input here from our wall socket power, and we're going to see the different charging modes. Here it's already coming in, we're quiet at the minimum 508 watts. Let's see, I'll bring the camera a bit closer, and while we make the different changes, now I'm going to set it to auto mode. This is going to be the standard it should charge at. It already increases to 1444 watts, and here the charging time goes down. Here it was telling us that with this voltage it will take us 2 hours to fully charge the battery if we don't go to auto mode with this voltage. With the 1.444 that it's giving, more or less it will go down to 1 hour and 8 minutes of charging, and if we don't go to turbo mode, the strength, noise and power here are also immense. It's giving us 2160 watts, about the same in about an hour. With 2 it would be fully charged. Here we have the meter showing the charging progress. We have all the dots here, and when it's fully charged, the semicircle will turn completely blue. And it tells us the percentage of battery we have. As you can see, it's connected to the Wi-Fi, which I've set up, and the fans are on. The device has made significant progress in charging. I mentioned the various modes and icons displayed on the screen. When we switch modes, and with this mode, with the silent mode, we'll reach a maximum power of 500 watts. At first, it does both input and solar input, as well as more solar input. Setting it to auto mode removes the logo, making it function like the standard version. Consumption, and it will give us a maximum peak of 1440 watts, which is what it's giving us right now. It's even going a little bit above that. The same thing that it's going to give us for the solar input and for making more solar input. And if we switch to turbo mode, we'll have a considerably higher power. Will it change us? There we have something like a Superman logo with a little lightning bolt, and it will give us a maximum power of 3840 watts from input and on solar input. For solar energy, it will give us a maximum peak of 2400 watts, which is what it will provide as continuous input. And when we are on alternating current plus the solar input, we will also have a maximum peak of 3840 watts, which is what the manufacturer tells us. You can see here that this will be our maximum. As for the rest of the connections, we have 4 alternating current inputs here with a maximum of 16 amps each for connecting. In this case, they are European plugs as shown here. There they come with their rubber flap on the front, and they have some side vents. And of course, the power button is simply pressed. We hold it down and it will turn off directly. If we go here on the left side, we'll find 2 trays, also 2 slots, that is 2 different compartments. On the left side, we will find the direct current photovoltaic input, which will give us between 12 and 60 volts, 20 amps and 1200 watts maximum for both connections. On the right, we find the battery expansion. In this port, we can connect the extension battery directly with a cable, or we can also connect this module, which we will talk about next. On the top left, there is a ventilation grill. Moving to the right panel, what we're going to find here is the alternating current in-out, which is the 230 volt port with a maximum of 50 amperes, which will also give us a connection through a cable. Is similar with only minor change to the pins and connection method. And here we'll also have the alternating current input of 230 volts, also with a maximum of 15 amperes to be able to charge our power supply. The 3-phase cable shown in the unboxing connects directly to the power to begin charging. And here we'll choose the amount of electrical flow we are going to use for charging. Additionally, we have a circuit breaker here, a button that you can press at any time. And the ground fault circuit breaker, which we have here, is a screw, so we can also have our ground connection set up. Other than that, on the back we have 4 screws, so you can anchor it and hang it up. If we want to put it on a wall, if we want to screw it onto our box, wherever we have it in the camper or in our workshop. And also, here we will find the technical specifications that we need to keep in mind. If we're going to plug in different devices, at least you can stay within the range that Bluetti gives us directly. But I have to tell you that this is a battery, as I mentioned before, that is not portable at all. It's almost 40 kilos of battery, and that's it. It's ideal to place it in an area where, specifically, as I told you before, in a motorhome, in a workshop, or in our house. And then you can add more batteries and accessories like this hub, which we're going to talk about right now, which will simply be here in La Manguera. We have these connectors that you'll also be seeing in the upcoming details, and a lock so it doesn't come loose when we connect it. Once we connect it on this left side, we'll have access to the power it's going to provide us. The app activation is required, but it can also be done easily without it. And we have a power button. And we also have several different inputs. On top we have two cigarette lighter sockets so we can work here, connect devices which will give us 12 volts, 10 amps, or also 24 volts, 5 amps. We also have two barrel pin inputs, so we can connect power supplies or transformers here. And of course what's not included, which is something that's already been missed in this device, USB-C and USB-A inputs. The USB-A ports will give us a maximum of 15 watts of power. We won't have fast charging, but we can connect our devices to the USB-C ports here and here. This device has 100 watt power output and 2 additional ports for fast charging phones, laptops, or any device supporting up to 100 watts. Well, as you can see, it has a clip on this part here, which you just grab and put on this handle, so you always have it here. Very close and nicely compact with the rest of our station. Let's discuss the technical specs, which are crucial, as many similar models are available. This truly makes a difference, and here's why. Because listen, this battery has 2764 watt hours and offers 3640 watts of continuous output, with peaks of up to 7680 watts. This means that we'll be able to plug in things like microwaves, heavy tools, all of this without any problem. But its biggest advantage is right here, scalability. We can expand it up to 58 kilowatt hours of capacity and up to 11.5 kilowatts of combined output. A real beast. All of this is thanks to the modules we can add, the batteries, also the B300K, which we can install in series to greatly expand all our storage and our power system. There are several charging modes. They have quite a few different charging modes. We have the solar mode, which with up to 2400 W can charge up to 80% in just 40 minutes. With 3840 W alternating current 80% will also be reached in about 45 to 50 minutes. And with electric car chargers, you can also support up to 11.5 kilowatts. Besides, we can charge it with external generators or the vehicle's alternator as well. With typical clamps, the cable connects to the slot on the left. What if we also use another accessory that many of you might be interested in if you live in the countryside, have a camper van, or are camping? It's to use the Solar X4000, which can reach up to 19.2 kilowatts of solar input. This is truly insane, and it's gonna give you total independence. And we can use this as the main power source, as a backup, or as a compensation system in case we have the power source connected directly here. And we also want to reduce the voltage load or consumption in our home, or in our office, or in our workshop. And how does all this translate into real life? At home, you can connect a full backup system to the refrigerator, router, lights, a van, air conditioner, coffee maker, and microwave. On construction sites, for example, if you're in remote places, drills, compressors, heavy tools. And on the road, if you're on the move, well, charging Starlink, heaters, laptops, as I mentioned before as well. You'll be able to connect a ton of things, as this is truly incredible. And one of the advantages that this Bluetti Apex 300 will also offer us is that we'll be able to turn it on and off remotely through its app. And that will also save us from having to go up to the device to do it manually. And now we move on to the mobile app, where we'll be able to see the power usage, control the ports, schedule tasks, or update the firmware with over-the-air. It's very easy to use, and in fact, I'm going to show you right now. And well, I brought a few devices from my house, which are devices that we might use in our daily lives. If you have machinery, you can do the tests yourselves later, but I chose more everyday things in this case. I have a heater, I have an air fryer, I have a hair dryer here, I also have a little USB lamp, and that's it. These products have high consumption, around 1300 watts in this case. In the case of the hairdryer, I think it's also about 1200 watts, and this one, which is the heater, will also give us about 1000 watts. 900 watts, 1200 watts. It also depends on the mode I set it to, and that's it. I'm gonna start recording the app here so you can see and we can observe together how all of this we're going to have evolves. As you can see, the app is simple, easy to use, and intuitive. We have several sections at the bottom: home, community, stores, services, and our personal section. Here we can add devices, which I have already added, including this one and this one. We can see my devices, the hard drive one that I have here, the hub and the station, the access point 300, activate Bluetooth, scan, recommendations, the project I was telling you about, LAF, where is it in this case? I also want to show it so you can see for yourselves the places where they are right now, providing light and connections to us. Guide on how to use it. If we go inside the device, inside this Bluetti Epix 300, we connect via Bluetooth. You just have to recognize it, plug it in via Bluetooth. You can also connect it via Wi-Fi, and that's it. It's very, very simple. And here we can see the diagram of the photovoltaic input, the input from the power grid, in case we have the power grid connected. Did you see it? Also in the charging section, the direct current input and the alternating current input. Right now, I just have the alternating current turned on here. At any moment, I can turn it off, and as you can see in the app, it also turns off for me. The components. In this case, I don't have any kind of connection through solar panels. And here we have the two sections, direct current and alternating current, both of which we have here. The remaining time right now says 9 days. Since I removed everything, the 280 euros have been saved, which is shown as consumption. Below we have generation, photovoltaic, and carbon monoxide. 2 reduction data. And in the settings section, you will be able to see that we have the guides here. Network configuration, device sharing, connection mode. I have Bluetooth and the password to set if desired. Carbon emission factor, an unspecified location, and operating modes. This is interesting because we can use self-use, reserve, scheduled charging and discharging, and personal modes like scheduled charging and discharging, just like other modes. We will be able to choose high shock and low shock, so that when the battery reaches different levels, we can power the appliances or stop charging it and save it that way. Connection. We have different operating modes that are really, really good. The disaster alert, this is something very important, and here you can read about it. If an alert is detected, I don't know how it will be detected. I suppose it will be through the phone or some geolocation system as well. It broadcasts in reserve mode and charges using solar energy. The grid connection is set up to maximize capacity, which is good. It's activated but not currently in use. The charging mode, I have the standard mode. Here we can switch between silent and fast, and they have also changed the icons up here. Increase power to be able to raise it here, and it's true that we can have a little more power. For peaks, as I mentioned before, the automatic suspension, the child lock, that is really great because we can have these two levels you see here, so the buttons don't get activated and no child can touch it. And the magic button, which in other models, it decreased from 240 to 120, and here we can choose what we want to do with this magic button, configure it ourselves. In all these sections that you are seeing, in the scheduled charging and discharging, in self-use, in child lock, in power supply, and also in the upper power supply mode. Well, this is really great because we can have shortcuts directly on a single button. Update the advanced settings where we can see here the current, maximum, frequency, extension, and so on. And of course, about the device. But let's get to what matters, though this is also important to know. But we're going to activate the direct current. In this case, the blue one has been activated. You can see the LED button lights up and we can turn it on and off. Okay, at any moment, if I turn it off, it will go off immediately, and if I turn it on, it will be activated again. And the alternating current. Now, we would have both current flows activated. Alternating current for the outlets we are going to use, and direct current for this one, where we will also plug in other devices. That's it, we'll start observing how consumption flows. I'm going to plug in the heating device first. I'm going to turn it on. And it's already starting to take the reading. 300 watts is telling us right now here, it's giving us an output of 461, 411. There's a slight lag, but we can see it here. If I go up to level 2, it should increase a bit. Now we're going up to 1300 watts. It's giving us the reading here. I don't know if we can zoom in here and see it. 1512, it's already at 1.4, 1.5. I'll lower it to level 1 since it's already giving off heat. I'm going to plug in the next device. It's going to be the hair dryer, which is something that we normally have in the bathroom. We can have these two devices plugged in. We're taking a shower and at the same time we're drying our hair. We want to be warm, so we just plug this in. 1800, it's on heat mode, it's on heat mode, okay. 2500, it's shown here too. It's really hot in here, right? Right now I'm going to plug in my phone, which has fast charging. You can't really tell much either. Lastly, let's take it to the extreme. The air fryer, 3800. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. Are you seeing the app too? 3818W. I'm going to turn it off because I'm roasting in here. With all the devices turned on, did you see that it handles it perfectly? The 3800 watts. We plugged in 3 things that draw quite a bit of electrical load and voltage, and honestly they work wonderfully. And now we're moving on to the hub section of this Duno that we have here. Okay, I'm going to set it up like this, even though it's a bit backwards, but so we can see it. I think from here you can see it well. I'm gonna plug it in. I'm going to turn it on first. I'm going to plug a USB in here, and in this case I'm going to remove this from here. I'm going to plug the USB in here. Okay, the phone is charging here. You can also see it on the screen. I'm also going to plug it into the USB type A here. This little lamp is giving us 5 volts. It's not much, okay? This also uses very little. It's short but demonstrates that it functions properly. I'll now plug it in, move the phone, leave this on and switch the phone with this cable. Let's see what happens. Try to give it a quick charge. With these 100 watts that it says it outputs from here, I'll plug in here to see if it's really delivering those 100 watts, which is what we're supposed to get here. 65 watts maximum, 25 watts, it tells me that's what it's outputting right now through the direct current output. Let's plug in something else. I'm going to switch this one for the phone here and this one for the power, which is going to draw a bit more. 17, 19, 34, 36. Well, as you can see, it's a separate hub, so we'll have other direct connections since we don't have them here. And here we can see that with what we had, it tells us that it went down from 9 days to a day and a half based on the estimation of what it had, more or less. Connected, okay. That's it. You've seen everything we've connected and tested, pushing it to its maximum performance of 3800 watts. And let me tell you that this APX 300 is not just a battery, it's an energy platform designed to scale with you to take it anywhere, from a home backup to powering complete solar installations. Compared to options like the Jackery Explorer or the EcoFlow Delta Pro, well, it wins in capacity, charging speed, and above all in versatility and also the scalability that this device will have. The price will be more or less between 2,500 and 3,000 euros depending on the pack we buy. And I think the module alone, because it was released on May 20th, we're recording this pretty much at the end of May. I believe the base price for the device itself started at either $1,205 or $1,210 if my memory serves me right. It has a lot of accessories, cards to transport them, the batteries I mentioned to you, power cables, the solar panels. Well, a lot of things that you'll probably need if you want to get a complete pack to use it and be self-sufficient or to complement your electrical system. That's all. I'd like to hear your thoughts. What's your opinion on it? This Bluetti Apex, obviously I haven't tried it in a motorhome like probably many of you might have in a workshop with heavy charging tools. But based on the technical specifications and what I've been able to test, and we've seen right now it's going to be able to power pretty much everything and even more if we scale it up and add more batteries and accessories to this Bluetti Apex 300, and that's it. That's all for today. I'd like, as I said, to read your comments, your opinions, your questions, anything you have to say about this. If you've used it, know the brand, or have something similar, leave a comment. We'll read and reply. Thank you for being here. Have you seen the mess we've made? I'm roasting hot right now with everything we've set up here, and thank you again for being there. See you in the next TechCrown video. See you soon. Take care.